What's going on, guys? Got another YCS top at YCS Rhode Island. I ran Gravekeepers again and ended up going 7-1 and 1. I played a lot of plant decks and and a couple of what is it called, fairy decks or whatever. My one loss was to TG. The only reason I lost to him was this reason and this reason alone. I drew monsters after monsters after monsters 3 games in a row, and I was very frustrated because, to be honest, I didn't think the player I was playing against was the best. I'm not saying he was bad. I didn't get to play with him enough to see how bad he was. He seemed to understand what he was doing, but I did notice a couple misplays, and I was frustrated that I lost. I feel like I could have beat him if I drew like more than a trap per game, which is what happened. It was literally just like opening up with 5 monsters in a Necro Valley. No, like 4 monsters in Necro Valley and a trap every game. Yeah, I couldn't do anything. And my next loss was to my buddy Ryan Segovia. It wasn't a loss, it was a draw. And it was a legit draw. We didn't decide to draw just because we're friends playing. Basically, game 1, he beats me. I didn't draw Necro Valley, so he got to do all his plant shenanigans. I was really surprised I didn't get the Necro Valley. But game 2, I beat him in time because game 1 was pretty long. Since I didn't have the Necro Valley, he was able to make plays slowly, and eventually he got the win. And then game 2, I won and we drew because we were in time, and that's how the rulings work. I got a lot of Royal Tributes later on in the day. I played against a worm deck, discarded his whole hand, turn 1. Played against a plant deck, discarded his whole hand, turn 1. Another plant deck, I discarded 3 cards from their hand. Before I really didn't like the card. I felt like it was very not inconsistent, but like I drew it at very suboptimal times. Like it was never. I never drew it in a good situation at all. Like I always had either 3 monsters not being commandants, or I drew it too late in the game when my opponent has 1 or 0 or 1 cards in their hand. And yeah, it just wasn't working out for me. Made a couple new friends throughout the day. Had a great time. Sold a lot of cards. Traded a lot. Did all sorts of things. Had fun in Rhode Island and such. So let's get started with the deck list. 1 Gale. This is the only tuner in the deck. You don't usually tune with him. I do once in a while, but his effect is great. He allows for Arcanite plays when you do sync, since all your monsters are spellcasters. And yeah, like he can get over Stardust, Shien, and other synchros and big monsters like Monarchs. Next is an Assailant. It allows versatility in your recruiters and Gravekeeper searches. And he has a pretty good effect under Necro Valley to help you out in certain matchups. 3 recruiters to search out pretty much anything but Spy and Gale in your deck. 3 Descendants. This is a great card to search at Spy. You can just flip up your Spy, search the Descendant, pop the Spy or Recruiter, get a lot of advantage. And of course you get the Spies, pretty much the best card in the deck. Set it. Your opponent won't usually want a Dark Hole or anything because it might be a Recruiter. They're usually going to have to attack into it, or if they don't, they're just going to let you flip it. Maybe they'll have a warning. That's why 7 tools is really good. And 3 Commandants. Big beater under Necro Valley, and it allows you to search for Necro Valley, so 2 good things in 1. Next up for the spells, we got some staples. Don't like this card. I'm taking it out for the 3rd 7 tools. Initially, I was going to run 3 7 tools, but space was tight in the side deck with 2 MSTs in it, so I decided to cut a 7 tools for an MST to straighten out the side deck a little bit. And I was a bit disappointed with this card. Every single time I had it set, I really wished it was a 7 tools. But I can't complain. I did top. I'm happy with my top. And yeah. 2 steals. Pretty obligatory in the deck. So good. Especially if you're top decking, which usually doesn't happen for me, but you never know. Tribute. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. That's how I'll explain that card. 3 dualities. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so pretty much just adds more consistency to the deck. Helps you get to the tributes turn 1 or the Necrovelli, whichever piece you're missing. And it also helps you have a choice in what you could get to an extent at least. And then you got the Necrovelli. You got to have 3 if you run tribute at least. And I feel like you have to run tribute after playing at this YCS. 3D prison for the traps. Like to remove stuff. Removal is good. 2 warnings. Pretty much staple in every deck. 2 7 tools. Wish it was 3. Great card. Mirror Force, more removal. Pression, love this card. Torrential, more removal. Solemn, love this card as well. Compulse, it was solid. I might replace it with a second Fiendish Chain, but having 1 of each is always nice. And finally, card that I really liked in the deck was Fiendish Chain. Yeah, it worked well. Pretty much, it allows me to run an Effect Veiler without running an Effect Veiler. And the reason I would want to run this over Effect Veiler is for the reason that I run World Tribute. It also, it acts like a D-Prison in a sense that they can't attack with the monster ever again. And overall, the deck was alright. I would change a couple things. I'm not going to state it. And I want to give a big shout out to my friend Jonathan Weigel, because we worked on the deck the night before. We discussed what would be good, what would be bad, what would be good for the side deck, what would be bad, what's going to be different in the YCS that we were about to enter, and other things. So here's the side deck now. Got an MST, 2 Fossil Dynas, 2 Veilers. I didn't want to side these, but Weigel convinced me. He's like, you know you're going to play against a lot of plants, etc., etc. This card's great against them, etc., etc. 2 Thunder Kings. I convinced him to run this. This card's really good against fairies, plants sometimes, you know, the mirror match, lots of decks. It just adds anti-meta, more anti-meta style to Gravekeepers. And it's got a lot of attack points. TGs it's good against too, by the way. 2 Cyber Dragons, pretty staple. It's for like the rogue matchups that run big beaters and lots of trap cards. Cyber Dragon can both run over the big beaters and bait out the trap cards, so it's a great choice for any side deck. 2 Kinetic Soldier. Weigel wanted to cut it because he thought 6 Samurai was not as popular as it has been in the past, and I kind of agree with him because I didn't play against any, but he did end up playing against 2 in the YCS, and he ended up going X and 3. So rough beats for him, but you know, Samurai is a bad matchup, and if you play against it, you're probably gonna get unlucky. Who knows? Depends how crazy they draw. 2 Chain Disappearance. Great card. Good against plants, samurais, maybe even X Sabers. I haven't tested it against them, but I know it stops Dark Soul and the likes. And then 1 Goes a Match and 1 Rivalry for Frog Monarchs, samurais, X Sabers, other things. I don't know. And I guess I'll show you the extra deck real quick. Got this, this, Ancient Fairy Dragon, this. Weigel didn't run this, and he lost because he couldn't have made it with his recruiter and effect veiler. So yeah, because I decided to run this over him, he decided to run Dark End over that, and that in turn punished him, unfortunately, because he lost in time. But if he had Armory Arm, he could have equipped it to his monster and attacked over his opponents and put their life points lower, and he could have possibly won. Oh yeah, so okay, so this is the video. Thanks for watching, everyone. By the way, I've top 32'd 3 times, and I've lost in the top 32 3 times, so I'm pretty positive I have a disease that pretty much makes it so I can't win in the top 32. I did, however, top 16 YCS Orlando, and I did manage to make it past the top 16 and go to the top 8, and I lost there, but that was because there was no top 32. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. Thanks for watching, guys.